Welcome in. Today we're going to be doing a cold monochromatic winter landscape. So sometimes Bob uses a combo of colors to make gray. He uses Prussian blue and Van Dyke brown and it makes a really neat looking gray. I was going to do that, but then I had the question, what would happen if I used Van Dyke brown and phthalo blue instead of Prussian blue? So I'll show you what happened. And yes, my palette is already covered. It doesn't matter how big the palette I use, I'm going to use it all. So this is the color that I got. It's this really pretty kind of like turquoise, greenish blue. So this pile is basically like 75% phthalo blue, 25% Van Dyke brown, and then this pile is the opposite. So this is basically 75% Van Dyke brown and 25% phthalo blue. Down here, I just have those same colors, just mixed with white, just so you can kind of get a better idea of what it's going to look like there. This is kind of like a half and half mixture of the Van Dyke brown and phthalo blue there. We got some white down here because this is a winter scene, so we're going to use a lot of white for some snow. So be aware, be aware. And then I mixed that same color into some black. And the Bob Ross Midnight Black is kind of purplish, so that's why it's getting kind of this like grayish bluish color. And again, I just mixed it with white just to kind of show you what that's going to look like there. So that's what I have going on. And basically, the painting I'm going to do is based mainly on Bob Ross's Winter's Grace, which is already a monochromatic painting. He just used phthalo blue, Prussian blue, so we're just changing it up a little bit. This is one of those Bobs that looks good in any color. So tools I'm going to be using, just going to be using 2-inch brush, maybe 1-inch brush, maybe not. Definitely the fan brush because we have some evergreen trees, so you gotta have that fan brush for the evergreen trees. You can do an evergreen tree with a 2-inch brush or a 1-inch brush, but you're gonna waste a lot of paint. So invest in the fan brush. I'm gonna use a knife. You can either use the little knife or the big one, the 5 or the 10. I prefer the smaller one. Oh, drum in there. All right. So first things first, as always, since we have a white canvas, we're gonna cover it with, guess what, liquid white. And this is just 16 by 20 here. So I'm just gonna dip my 2-inch brush, there we go, into some liquid white there. See, I go about a centimeter down, yeah. And then I'm just kinda tap. This is the messiest part, so be aware. The reason I'm tapping it is just to get like an even distribution. And then I'm just crisscrossing that in. Sometimes I'll do this and I'll feel something fall on my cheek and I'm like, oh, darn. And sometimes I don't feel it go on my face at all, so if I have a speckle, well, we just won't worry about that. We'll just have white freckles. That's all right. I had a hair there, so I'm just going to wipe that hair off of my brush. I think it was one of mine. Usually it's the brush hairs that come off, but I think that one was mine. Let's grab a little, yeah, I see a couple little spots here. Just going to do a little bit more over there, just a teensy bit more. Okay, a teensy bit more. Ooh. Don't want too much, so if you do this gradually, that is a-okay. And even there, I think that's going to be probably too much, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe off what's on my 2-inch brush now. All right, and then I'll just go back in and blend that out. Just make sure it's nice and even there. So I'll go up and down, left and right. ASMR. All right, and then what you want to do, just to make sure you've got a nice even distribution, just take all 5 fingers, go boop, just in a couple different spots there. Just make sure you can still see your fingerprints. If you can't see your fingerprints, you got too much liquid white. If that's the case, all you got to do is, if you have a shop towel, you can take a shop towel and wipe it off. I wouldn't suggest wiping it off with paper towel because then you'll get little fuzzies from the paper towel on there. So, but if you don't have a shop towel, just take a paper towel, just put it on top, and just do that crisscross number, and then you'll soak up all the excess there. So I'm just going to go back in and wipe off my fingerprints. I don't want those in there. Okay, that should be good. And I'm just going to wipe that out again. I'm going to move my liquid white. Won't need that for a little while. And then, so cleaning the brushes, basically we're just going to be using a paper towel there. So you see I have it in the palm of my hand. We're just doing that little circly motion there. So that's basically all you want to do for cleaning your brushes, the big ones anyways, because these big ones have so many bristles. They just, if you clean it in the paint thinner, it's going to hold on to that paint thinner. If you don't get all of that paint thinner out, you're going to ruin your painting if you bring that brush back in. So I would highly suggest not doing that, not cleaning out the 2-inch and 1-inch brush with paint thinner until you're completely done with the painting. The smaller brushes you can, the fan brush and filbert brush, script liners, those are tiny, so you can just blot them dry. Not a big deal. But big brushes, wouldn't suggest it. Okay, this is pretty good there. And then also you want to keep baby wipes on hand. Those are crucial for cleaning off your hands, but then also your palette at the end. So you can use baby wipes or baby oil. Put baby oil, well, after you've scraped off the excess paint, thrown that away. Or what you can do with excess paint is what I do. I just put in a Ziploc, throw that in the freezer. Use it for another painting. All right, so let's go into this nice little turquoise color here. Don't need a whole lot. So the reason I'm tapping, I'm not loading more paint in. I'm tapping it to get an even distribution. So that's why I'm tapping in the same spot. So if you kind of see the bristles there, actually I might be able to show you. There you go. You can see the bristles there. You can see every little bristle. You don't want like one section where it's like a huge hunk of paint. That's no good. All right, so what we're gonna do for the sky here is kind of almost looks like a vignette. So it's gonna start at the lightest area and we're gonna get darker, darker, darker. So I'm gonna start from, we're gonna determine where we're gonna have our little, kind of like a rising sun. So we're gonna do, how about like right there. So see how I am just kind of crisscrossing. So I started from that central point and then I am just crisscrossing my way out. Actually, I'm gonna go back in a little bit and make it a little lighter in there. And I'm just gonna keep going, keep going. I'm starting to hurt there. Actually, that's pretty good for the first pass. Let's go ahead and wipe off the brush. You could even do the opposite, start dark and go light. That might look kind of cool. Reverse vignette. All right, so I'm gonna go back in and do that again. Blending out these areas here. Shoot, I kind of like, oh, I don't know, I might change my mind. So I just keep blending out that color there. Go back in again, and blendy, blendy, blendy. Just little crisscross strokes, that's it. Okay, I'm just going to continue blending down here. So that's why we have that liquid white on there, so we can just blend directly onto the canvas. It's like, yeah, you can do this without the liquid white, but yeah, as Bob said, you would be in Agony City. Okay. Let's go back in one more time, just kind of blend out these last areas there. I see a little hair. I'm going to poke that out. It's like I was saying, we could keep it like that, where it's dark and then goes to light. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm still going to have the dark edges. I think I'm still going to do that. So I'll just go back one more time, blend that out. I had that hair in there, so poke out the hair and blend it out. All right. Good deal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap in. I'm going to tap in some of the mixture I made with the, so this is the phthalo blue Van Dyke brown, and then this is it with like a little bit of the midnight black in it. So I'm going to tap a little bit of that in. Try to turn to the side so you can kind of see there. Same thing, I'm just tapping just to get an even distribution there. Okay. So, I'm going to start with the corners here. Just kind of work my way in. Let's see how I'm first applying this paint to the corners and sides, and then blending it in towards the center here. And again, just crisscrossing to blend it in, that's all. Actually keeping that light in there, again, that's kind of like cool halo effect. mixing the two together here, so it's kind of where they meet. Wipe that off. And then you have to decide, is that dark enough for you? Do you want it a little darker, or maybe more blue? Lots of decisions to make. I think for me, let's see, let's blend this up a little bit more. And I'll make my decisions. Big decisions. Let's see. I think I'll go a little bit darker. Let's grab a little bit more. That's the midnight black and blue mixture. Woo. Just doing the same little crisscross motion there. Okay, wipe that real quick. And then I'm going to go back in and blend that out. That off again. Of course, yours doesn't have to be as blendy as mine. It's all up to you. Or I said it looks cool with the white vignette around the edges too. You leave it like that. Alright, I'm also going to do just kind of like a little circular motion here. Just going to blend those two together. Okay, I'll do the same on the other side too, just for consistency. Maybe a tad bit darker right here. Okay, blend that up a bit. And I'll do that number. So, wipe off that 2-inch brush again. You see a couple hairs in there. I'm just gonna poke them out. All right. And I'll just go one more time with a little swirling motion here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I'm gonna flip my brush so that I keep that blue and purple on the same side. Okay, I think looks pretty good there. The bottom's just basically gonna have snow, so don't have to worry about blending that out seamlessly or anything. One more thing I'm gonna do with the sky here. I am going to take going to take a 1-inch brush here, and I'm going to just dab a little bit of titanium white. Just a little bit of that, just a little, just a little. You'll see how I tapped it in, now I'm tapping some out. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Excuse me. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to where I said our sun's basically gonna be, right in the middle here. Excuse me again. And we're just gonna just make a little bright spot here. And we're doing that same thing. We're just like crisscrossing out just like we did with that blue originally here. And that just kind of blends everything together. Let's see how I'm basically not even taking the brush off of the canvas while I'm doing this. Whoa, sorry about that. Camera got a little blown out there. Sometimes that happens. If you want to get really crazy, and I think you do. I mentioned something about like a sun being back there. It could be a moon. I'll show you how to put one in. So, a couple different ways. Bob uses his finger. He just takes a little titanium white, puts it on the end of his finger, and then just puts a little sun in, or moon. I can't do that because I have nails. So, other ways you can do it. You can, well, I'll show you this way. Sometimes what I use is chapstick. Or you can use the end of a brush or a knife here. That's a pretty good size. Let's use that one. So I'm just going to go into the titanium white here. So I'm just going to put that in. Just going to rub it around and kind of make it nice and consistent there. All right. So I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put it on. I'm going to like kind of twist it a little bit. Boop, like so. Don't forget to wipe off your knife. Now, I will go back in with like the pad of my finger just to kind of smooth it out just a little bit. I think that might be a moon. Almost looks like a little crescent moon there. But that's just a real easy, simple way to make a moon or a sun there. All right, so we've got our sky done. And well, the reason we put all this color on the bottom here, I know I said there's going to be a lot of snow and everything. When you're painting snow, if you paint white onto a white canvas, well, you know, it just looks like a polar bear in a snowstorm. So if you have these dark colors underneath the white, then you'll see the contrast and the snow will show up better. So that's why we put that down there. Also, it's better to have this and not need it than to want it and not have it. Because who knows, maybe you might want to put a little river in here. Bob puts a path in his. You might want to put a lake or something. So it's always better to have that dark in there if you want to put one of those things in there, or just put snow. So we'll see. We haven't decided yet. We haven't gotten to that part. So let's go ahead and we're going to start and make some little background hills here. So I'm going to go into, let's see. I'll use the 1-inch brush here. Yeah, let's use the 1-inch brush. And I'm going to take some of this, some of that midnight black that's mixed in with the phthalo blue and Van Dyke brown there. Let's see. And maybe a little more blue. A little more of that blue. So this is just the same color with the white. Okay, so now what I'm going to see how I dropped my handle. And I'm tapping basically just the edge here. Just the edges. So that's how I'm going to tap in these little distant hills or mountains here. So again, I have my handle pointing down towards the floor. And I'm just going to go in and, we're just going to we're going to tap in some little hills here. Now see, this first line of hills is going to be very, very, very faint. Because every line of hills that comes forward is going to be darker, 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 more apparent. Let's see here. Change the shape of that one just a little bit. Okay, so that's good for the first line. So you can see it's just barely, barely, barely noticeable. So for the second little line here, I'm going to go back into the midnight black. So this color is just going to be just a little bit darker. I just want it to stand out a little bit more here. Okay. So hill number 2. There we go. See, now you can really see that one. See how I'm over here and I'm running out of color, so I'm going to flip over to the other side of the brush because we still have color on that side. See how strong that is? Now also what I'm doing is I'm tapping these little hills or mountains in. I'm kind of tapping underneath and blending that color into the sky. All right. Neat. You know what? I think those ones are maybe a little too faint now that I've put that one in. So let's go back. Maybe darken those ones up just a tad. Just a tad. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Just a little. Okay, that's better. Let's continue this all the way here. Let's see. Oh, he's got a big old hill over here. Let's make a big old hill. Yeah. There we go. See, that's the hill you wanna sled down. Sled or toboggan, you know. I just like to say the word toboggan. It's one of my favorite words. I think we all have some of our favorite words in English. I like the word toboggan. I like the phrase spiral staircase. I'm just going to have the hill kind of fade out into the vignette there. One other thing I'm going to do, let's grab some of the dark color again. I'm going to tap down a little bit here, make another little layer. Another little layer. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. Ooh, let's have a little one coming from the other side. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's not get carried away. But they're fun. I love these little like distant hills. And the best thing is, if you don't like them, keep tapping and you'll blend them out. You can redo them if you want. See, that's fun. That's fun right there. You know, looking at this, you could do the same thing with kind of like sandy colors and make like a desert scene. Ooh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Bob only did, I think, like 5 desert scenes, something like that. They all look so cool. So that's one thing I want to do. I want to make more desert scenes. So those are a lot of fun. So you can use some interesting colors in there. I'm just wiping off the excess. Excuse me, my nose is itchy. Excess paint there. I'm just going to go back in. I'm just going to tap the bottom of these lines real quick and just kind of fade them out. Got rid of my vignette there. Here we go. Another cool thing that Bob does in this one, another thing you can do, you don't have to do this, totally optional, but I'll just show you how to do it just in case. So you can take the brush, whatever brush you're using. You can do this technique with a fan brush as well. What you can do, especially for these closer hills, take the brush and go up to this top line and just go boop. And just pop just a little bit. It's real subtle. You might not even see it on the screen. It's just a very, very subtle effect there. Again, you don't have to do this. I'll just do it in a couple places, just here and there. Just a little bit. It's one of those things, if you do it too hard, then you're blending stuff out. So let's wipe that off again. Just going to tap that little line there and blend out a little bit of that. There we go. Okay. Neato. So now, we have to make some big decisions again. I think, let's go with, let's go back into this blue, that kind of turquoisey blue here. Let's do maybe like this, where it's got a little bit of that white in there. So let me borrow some of this. Ooh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Let's grab a little more. Let's see here. I think that's good. If it's too dark, we can always adjust. Not a deal. Not a bad deal. Okay. Just gonna wipe off my knife there. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put over here, kind of almost like where this line ends there, starting like right over here, we're gonna put in like a little line of distant trees, and that's what we call crash down trees, and I'll show you why we call them that. So, fan brush. I'm going to go into that color I just made there. So I'm just going to wiggle in some of that color, and then I'm going to drag both sides. This is how we get that nice chiseled edge. So you have to re-chisel your edge often as you're doing these, the Crashdown trees and the evergreens. Okay. So, okay, like I said, it's going to start about right here. So see how I'm holding the brush here vertically. So the bristles are straight up and down, like that. So the reason we call them Crashdown trees, and I'll show you real quick on the palette first. So we're gonna basically use the top end of the brush, and we're gonna boop, 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 like that. We're gonna crash down. So let me reload, re-chisel. And practicing a new technique on your palette first before you do it on canvas is always a good idea. Always a good idea, especially trees. All right, so I'm gonna start them like right about here. So see how crash, 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 crash. Flip to the other side, crash, 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 crash. Now I'm going a little lower than where I want that line to be, and that's okay, because we're gonna sweep that over and make little shadows for our snow, so don't worry about that if your Crashdown trees are going lower than you want them to. I'm gonna reload here. Just make sure as you're doing these Crashdown trees that you see how they're kind of almost like connected in the middle, because, well, the evergreen trees are denser at their base, so that's why they look a little darker, more together at the bottom there. And just vary your heights. Make it interesting. Don't keep it like that, because then they're going to look like fence posts. Sometimes I'll do that to start off, and then kind of fill in like that with some different heights. And then again, reload. Like I said, you're going to reload frequently as you're doing this, because as you're doing this, of course, you're ruining the edge, so you have to resharpen it, just as if you're well, I guess the old school shaving with the with the blade and the sharpen it on the, what is it, the piece of leather or something. I don't know. That's what they did on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. That's why. That's all I know about that. That's all I know. Now, one cool thing you can do, you could see like how like some of this is extending downwards there. You could put like a lake here and imagine like that's your horizon line. So I'll kind of draw it out for you just to kind of show you. But you could have like, beep, like a horizon line there. And then you would just take your brush, like a 1 inch or 2 inch, and just gently drag down and across to make it all watery. So that's something you can do. Repuff those. See them. If you're doing reflections, then just kind of be aware of like, oh, okay, that's a tall one here, so then the reflection's got to be tall too to match. Okay. Yeah, ours is definitely a nighttime scene. I tend to prefer the nighttime scenes. I like the dark black canvases and stuff like that. See, this would be really cool on a black canvas as well. This color would be really good on black canvas. See again how I turn my brush over to the other side. We're just going to go all the way across with these. But yeah, again, this is one of those paintings you can do in any color. Do like purple, green would be interesting. Pink. Pink winter scenes are cool. I like those. I might do one of those next. Sometimes I make the sounds and I don't even realize it. But see, the sounds are going with what I'm doing. So see, I'm going tapping. So then that's why I'm saying. It happens. It happens. When I was getting my certification, I was concentrating so hard and trying to learn everything I could. And I was not making sounds. And then the sounds just came naturally one day. And I didn't even realize I was making them. It happens. It'll happen to you. I don't know. It might not. I do tend to think that it helps, though. That's what I think. I wasn't so sure at first, but now I think it does help. I think it does. Let's do a couple more. Maybe get a little softer at the end. Let's see. I kind of fade it out. Kind of like a fade out in a song, right? I guess that would be the musical version of a vignette, eh? A fade out, right? Yeah, that's cool. All right. Let's go ahead and wipe that fan brush off. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in, same fan brush there. So like I said, you could cut this off and drag all that down and make it reflections. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it snow. So I'm just going to take here, and we're just going to drag that color over. Okay, let's go ahead and wipe that brush off again. But see how you like instantly created another little snow hill there. I'll blend this down a little bit here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. We contaminated a little bit of our white here. Let's grab that contaminated part, throw it over there. There we go. Okay. So, see, we got a little blue in there. I just chopped off the blue part and put it over there. So I'm just going to grab some of this white here. Same thing. I'm just going to load both sides. See, I'm kind of doing this little crisscross motion. Flip, 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 flip. All right. And then I'm going to hold it kind of like vertically and then just turn it just like a little bit. And I'm just going to drag paint across like that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing. This is really similar to putting snow on the mountain. So the canvas is just grabbing off what it wants here. But see how I did those two swoops and then that side's contaminated. So don't want to go back there. Let's put a little more snow. I'm just barely grazing here. No pressure, no pressure. See, I'm just dragging. Soft, quiet nights. I think. Excuse me. I'm gonna wipe that off. I'm gonna reload. come from the other side and swoop down. See, you didn't grab a whole lot, so I'm gonna. I'm going to go back in with that same brush. I just want to blend out the bottom there. Careful with your sides too. Oops. There we go. Let's do a little more. So this, yeah, see now they kind of, it's almost the same value. So put a little more white here to make this one come forward a little bit. So wipe that off. I like looking at quiet, serene, snowy landscapes while I'm living in Florida. Oh, I know, I know, I know. You know, Bob's from Florida too. It's gonna. Bob is a Florida man. Need a couple marshy scenes. I love those. I love the marshy scenes. I'll have to do one of those too. There we go. You know, I'm just making all these snow hills for tobogganing. You know that. You know that. I'm gonna make the hill a little softer. There. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there we go. I think I also want to, I just want to make this line between that forest back there and the little snowy area. I think I want to make that a little more subtle. So I'm just gonna go back in with this brush and just kind of, just gonna go over that a little bit. Just make it a little softer. It's going back and forth with value. These monochromatic paintings, they're really good practice for getting down value. There we go, that's better, that's better. This almost looks like, somebody was telling me about, I think it's called a sundog, where it's kind of like this like halo effect. It's a thing that happens in like cold areas. I wouldn't know, because I don't live in a cold area anymore. So I think that's getting pretty good there. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna throw in some evergreen trees. So for that, oh, let's see. I think, oh, let me clean off my knife here first. I like to use the bigger knife for mixing and then the smaller knife for actual painting. Let's combine, oh, let's see. Let's grab some of this, the browner version. Just gonna mix some of this here. I don't want this to be the darkest color yet. I wanna save the darkest color for the evergreens that are way in front. So I'm gonna put a couple that are like kind of like in between first. So heck, let's grab some of that. Wow, that's really pretty. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I'm looking for there. Okay. Alrighty. And again, all I'm using for these colors is just phthalo blue, Van Dyke brown. And then I had a little black for the darker areas, the more purpley areas. All right, let's go back to the fan brush here. This is my favorite part in Happy Trees. I've always liked painting happy trees ever since I was in 7th grade. So we're gonna load this the same way we loaded the crash down trees. Just wiggle paint in and then drag both directions here. Or I'm sorry, one direction both sides. And then to start our evergreen trees, basically I'm just gonna start with like a line. So I'm gonna start with some more like distant ones over here. So I'm gonna start like right here. So I'm just gonna like tap in a little line here. Oh yeah, look at that color against those colors. Wow, that is such a cool color. That is amazing. Look at all the different hues we got with just a few colors. It's amazing. I'm gonna reload here. And then with the evergreens, you're just gonna, you have your little starter here. I like to leave a little space, maybe like an inch or something. Go in with the corner of your brush, and then just poop, just pop a tiny little branch. The same on the other side. Go back to the other side, back to the middle, out to the side, out to the side, back to the middle, out to the side. Sometimes I'll go back and forth and then go back in the middle and beef them up a little bit. I'm gonna reload. Pew. So see how that's kind of skimpy in the middle there? So I'm going back in and beef them up there. And as I'm doing this, notice also that my handle is pointing towards the ground, and that's how you're going to get your branches curved down this way. If you want your branches up the other way, just point your handle towards the sky. Or similarly, if you're making reflections for these ones, the reflections are going to be opposite, so let's turn the handle the other way. So you see, as I'm getting towards the base of the tree, I'm using more and more of the fan brush. Reload again. Oh, and now we got to decide where we're going to end it. I'm going to keep going for a minute here. I think that's good because, like I said, we do want a couple trees that are closer that are even darker. So let's give him a friend here. Give him a friend. Excuse me. Actually, I don't know, do I want a friend on that side? I don't know, big decision, big decision. Do we want a friend right here? Or do we want to be able to see this kind of like fade out? I don't know. Ooh, that's a tough one, that's a tough one. I kind of like him over there. Yeah, let's put a friend over here. Let's put a friend over here. Maybe like a little shorter, like yeah, there we go. He'll be leaning a bit. Okay, same deal. A little to that side, a little to that side, a little to that side, back in the middle. Okay, reload. Okay, I think that's good. 2 friends there. Oh, do we want a friend on the other side? Ooh, yes, yes we do. Yes we do. Yes we do. I just like evergreen trees. All right, let's do, yeah, we'll just have kind of that hill behind them. That's what we'll do. So let's, again, just start them off. There's a little line there. Reload, and then give some room, and then pop in branches. See how I flipped my brush over to the other side as I was getting getting low on paint there. Reload. Sometimes you work so hard to make these things and then you cover them up and you're like, well. Okay, that's good there. Yeah, like that. And then we'll have maybe like one or two big ones right here that are a little bit darker. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wipe off this fan brush real quick. I'm going to give them trunks too. So let's do that. Well, before we do that, since I still have the fan brush, I'm just going to drag, just like we did before, just drag a little bit of that color. Just make instant shadows there, and then we'll do the same thing and put the snow over top of that. And then here, same thing over here. Just, do we want that front or behind? Let's make it behind. I'll wipe that off. Let's see how it just instantly creates new planes every time you do that. Ooh, I see a hair. Poke, poke. Did I get it? There it is. There it is. Just gonna smooth this out a little bit. Smooth out my brush strokes from earlier. Okay, that's better. It's so interesting. It's like I said, all we used was phthalo blue, Van Dyke brown, midnight black, and white. But it looks like there's like blue, green, green. I mean, that looks green. Blue, green, purple. I mean, there's just like a multitude of things going on here. So let's give them some trunks here. Just gonna go in with little knife there. And let's grab some whites and a little bit of that bluish color that we were using. So I'm just kind of flattening it out there. It's kind of making it kind of marbledy. And I'm just gonna cut across, just cut off tiny, tiny, tiny roll of paint there. Just tiny, tiny roll of paint. Because these trunks we want to be very, very subtle. So let's do this one first. So we're just gonna tap. So see how my brush is kind of angled? So it's like, what, I don't know, 45 degree angle or something from the canvas, because when I cut off that paint, it's on this side. So that's why I'm angling it like that. So we're just gonna, see, I'm using my arm to brace my hand because I have very shaky hands. So we're just gonna boop, 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 just like that. Same thing over here. I'm just gonna cut off a little bit more of that paint there. So we're gonna boop, boop, and a little more. We'll cut off a little bit more. And then we're gonna boop, boop, boop. The reason I'm not making one solid line is because when you're looking at a tree, you don't see the entire trunk. If you were seeing the entire trunk, that means somebody cut off all the arms on one side of the tree. We don't want that. We don't want that. Okay. Now, let's go in. Actually, you know what? Before we do the highlights, let's go ahead and swoop in some of that snow. So let's grab a little bit of that snow, just like we did before. Just kind of crisscross that in. And this one first. Here it is. It's grabbing. It's grabbing. It's grabbing my brush. There we go. Turn my brush to the other side there. Some more white out. Let's fluff that a bit. There we go. And let's do it to the other side too. I think this is one of the most fun things in this like Bob Ross technique, making the snow. And of course, you can do this with a knife too. If you do it with a knife, it looks well, not as soft. So it looks harsher, it looks more contrasty. So just a different look. Sometimes I'll do both in the same painting. I'll have the softer effect in the background. Like, see, I can go back on this and make that a little softer now. A little bit softer now. A little bit softer now. There we go. Then I want a little more contrast there. Oops. Ooh, there we go. A little more contrast now. There we go. I just love how like soft and quiet that looks. The snow is so beautiful when it first falls before anybody walks through it or drives through it. And they drive through it and it becomes slush. We don't like slush. Let's do a little more on this side here. Wipe off. Because of course, as you're doing that, you're dragging, picking up that underneath color there. I don't know, are we going to put in a big old tree? I don't know. Nah, we'll put another tree in. We'll put another tree in. Let's put another little hill. More contrast. Okay, wipe that off. First we got to highlight these trees, and then we can put in some bigger trees. So let's use. I'm going to highlight with that same color. Just put white into it. So let's grab the rest of my white here. Just flavor it with that color. There, that's good. I'm going a little darker than I want because I'm probably going to put some liquid white in here. Actually, I might not. It might be creamy enough, just like that. The Bob Ross titanium white is formulated to be a little creamier than the darker colors like the Van Dyke brown. And the black, the Van Dyke Brown and black are very, 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 very thick because those colors are always used as for like the base of trees, bushes, and grass. So let's see how it highlights without liquid white here. So for the highlight, what I do, I just go in and just tap a little bit. Oh, you know what? Well, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. So I just kind of tap just like that. And if you look at the palette, you see how like the little fuzzy texture that it's making. That's what we're looking for. So let's test it and see. Yeah, a little dark. So I'm going to use a little bit of liquid white. Okay. Just tapped it in there so it wouldn't be dripping all over the, well, it's dripping, that's okay. So I'm just gonna, same thing. I just mix the liquid white into that same color there. Alrighty. There we go, perfect, okay. And so when I'm highlighting, I'm kind of thinking of touching just like the tops of the branches and highlighting usually one side more than another. So since our light source is over here, I'm concentrating more on there. Tap a little bit more. Why do I always start with the middle of the tree? I don't know. That I don't know. Tap a little more. Okay. Same thing. Reload. So that's the thing with the highlights. If they're not just coming off, just tapping them, then put some more liquid white in there. Okay, that's good for that one. And let's move on over to that tree. It's running out. Get to the bottom of the tree there. I think it's because on the tops of the trees I don't want them to be too bright. So I kind of start the branches in the middle. And then the branches at the bottom, you don't want it as highlighted as much anyway, because, well, they don't have as much snow or anything, so there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Wipe off the fan brush. And then, okay, we've got decisions. I'm just gonna drag this over and make that a little softer. Anything that's like contrasty or different kind of like drags your eye there. So that was dragging my eye there. You always want things to drag the viewer's eye towards the center, never away. So don't want that. You don't want to leave the viewer's eye out of the canvas. You want them to stay here. So let's do, oop, I need a little more white. A little more white. Want a little more down here. I just want like a nice little plane. little more. A little more up here. Ooh, there we go. Ooh. There we go. Okay. And of course, these parts are real thick, so those are the parts that are going to take the longest to dry. Wipe that off. And you know what? Let's do a little bit more over here. It's a delicate balance. I want it sweeping up, but I don't want I to be distracted too much by that. I'm just knocking over stuff, don't worry. We're good. We're good. Okay. That's better. Just want that extra little plane in there. Ooh. See, that was too much. There, let's blend it out. Not a big deal. Okay, I think that's good. All right, let's put in, oh, yeah, like one or two more trees, right smack dab. Well, not exactly in the middle, but, well, a little off center. So let's grab, this is gonna be the darkest color, so I'll grab the rest of my black, my Van Dyke brown, this color, all of it. Just super dark. Super dark, still that blue. Okay. We'll probably have enough for another painting, and that's okay. That's okay. That's the fun part. Yeah, leftover paint leads you to your next painting. Like, what can I do with this? Okay, let's go to fan brush again. Wiggle that in, and then drag, sharpen it. Sharpen to that chiseled edge. Okay. Rechisel, rechisel. Okay, looks good. Okay, big old tree. Big old tree. Okay. I'm trying, like, where can I put it where it doesn't cover up all of my mountains? It's like right here, yeah. Well, I'll still cover some up, but that's okay. Okay, big old tree, big old tree. There we go. Reload. Reload. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Give a little space, And then start your branches. Get more paint on the other side there. Reload. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. It's gonna cover up a little bit of that tree back there, and that's okay, that's okay. The more things that are overlapping each other, the better, because then there's more depth in the painting. more. Oh yeah, that's a nice big tree. See how far I have to go for the branches now. That's actually a nice color for like a Christmas tree there. See, as I'm doing this, I like to leave little pockets, little holes there, because it shows kind of you're seeing through the tree. 'Cause it's not solid. It's not a solid thing, you know. I think. Let's see. Further. Or there. Decisions. Let's see how it looks. If I just swoop that over. So let's see how it looks where it stops just there. Guys, put more snow in later. It's not a big deal. Yeah. That's where it's gonna end. Now, does he need a friend? Oh, does he need a friend? Yes, he needs a friend. Okay. Reload. Okay. And which end is straighter? I'll just reload. There we go. Okay. Right there. Reload. There's your friend. A couple more. There we go. I like when Bob leaves like a little bare spot and he's like, oh, he had a bad year. Someone stepped on him. You know, a moose stepped on him or something. Who knows? There we go. There's your friend. There he is. There, he's just peeking out. He's just peeking out there. It's gonna clean up that edge. Oop. I'm gonna go back in with more white. Well, actually, heck, why not? I'll just do it now. I got another fan brush here, so that's why. I was like, why not? Why not? So I'm just gonna. Ooh, that was bright. Let me go over a little bit more, make it duller. There we go. That's too bright. There. There we go. Ooh, that's neat. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's wipe that off. Okay, just a couple more things to do here. So we're gonna give them tree trunks, just like before. So again, I'll just take just some of this titanium white and mix it in with a little of that color we were using, make it kind of marbly, cut off a little roll of paint. There we go. And same thing, we're just gonna touch. Maybe a little thicker at the bottom here. There we go. That's better. And a little more. Ooh, that didn't come off. Try again. There we go. Nice. And wipe that off. Do do do. Do do do. I just saw something that was bothering my eye here. It's gonna go with a little more white over here. There's a little too much of that green showing up. There. That's better. Okay. So now, go back in with my fan brush. I'm just gonna wipe this off here. Real easy. And then same thing as before. Actually, I'm gonna make this a little denser here. There we go. A little denser. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do here, I think so. Yeah, last thing we're gonna do. Oh, well, we don't need any more white because we got all our snow in. So let's take the rest of that white, throw it into that same color there. I think that's pretty good. We'll add a little bit of liquid white to there. Let's wipe off that knife. Okay, so same old fan brush. Dip it into the liquid white, and here we go. So I'm just tapping the liquid white into that highlight color. So again, it's the same color we just used for the tree, just with white, and now liquid white to make it stick. So I'm just tapping straight in. And let's get a little test. Boop. There we go. Squished a little too hard there. Reload. Let's work on this guy first here, because he's kind of behind. So yep. Tap some more. Tap a little bit up here. So yeah, for the highlight, just kind of tap it like where the top of the bough of the tree is. And then sometimes I'll tap underneath just to kind of like blend out a little. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's take a gander at what we've got here. That little space is kind of bothering me. It's kind of bothering me. So, with that, I'm just going to wipe off my brush here. And go back into the dark. Go back into the dark. And I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. There. See, that's better. Ooh, actually, I'll do this sometimes too if I put highlights in and the highlights got a little too much. So like those two kind of blended together. So I'm going to go back in and kind of just go back in with the dark and separate them out again. Like that. See, now they're separate. All right, and yeah, okay, I can do two. Okay. Again, just don't go crazy. Don't go crazy with them. All right, I think, yeah. It's a neat little kind of wintry scene. I think it's perfect for December. I think of kind of like these colors for December. Turquoise and bluish greens and everything. Just a nice quiet night. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call that rascal finished. If you decide to do this in different colors, let me know in the comments. I think I might try this on a black canvas. But what color? Ooh, what color would I try? That's the question. Maybe instead of a little moon, we'll have a big moon. We could do that. Could do like a harvest moon or something like that. Super moon. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you saw today, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime I upload, because I upload tutorials and then I also upload my videos of my live streams on Twitch. So, and I'm Lady Galaga on Twitch as well. So, all right. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I will see you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.